Hello Scorpio, my name is Echo and thank you for joining me for your tarot reading for July 2025. We do have a new moon in Cancer happening on June 25th, so please see what area of life that's going to fall for you. Cancer is a bit of a homebody, emotional, watery type energy, so just see what area of life that's going to be, what house that's in for you, and apply things when you're setting your intentions during that new moon. Let's go ahead and start this reading for you and see what we have coming up in July. All right, Scorpio, you start out with this card of the Path. And the thing I like about this card in particular is you have this little individual down here, this young lady who looks a lot like sort of an Alice in Wonderland kind of vibe, right? And she's considering stepping up that ladder and going into almost like an entirely new world. So you may be considering, as June comes to a close at the time I'm recording this, into early July, the path that you're currently on. This does mean revisiting the path that you have traveled thus far, because who among us doesn't like to kind of look over our shoulder and see where we've been and what we've learned in order to gauge how we're going to move forward. The important thing to focus on, Scorpio, is, and I really feel like this isn't very much you because it's not really your forte. Scorpios are all about letting things go, cutting it loose so you can start fresh. You're very much a sign who likes get down to it and, rebirth, get straight with it. That's why I like Scorpios. They're always straight shooters. As a Virgo, I appreciate that. But the waxing crescent moon, the path, actually tells you that you're okay with the idea of looking at the path that you've been on and the path that you're going to. But forward movement is more your concern than the path you've been on so far. So if you do cut something loose, or this could be a relationship, this could be a job, a living situation, any little thing, this feels like you're doing so for the sake of movement specifically, not just because that particular thing isn't working for you anymore. You may already have a plan in place while you're considering the path you have going forward. But it's good because the individual in that card, she has all of those stars waiting beyond her before she even considers, stepping into this portal up here. But the stars aren't so much distracting her from moving into that portal. I mean, that's her focus. She's taking stock of them. She's very aware of them. The ones closest to her are even the brightest, which might have been, what caught her attention in the first place to look up at that portal. But I really feel like they're not so much distracting her from her main focus, moving through that portal into that new realm. So you may be taking steps in the month of July to consider your path and what steps you want to take next, and nothing will sway you. So let's go ahead and continue this reading, Scorpio, and see what else you have for the month of July. You have the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords is all about conflict, where we're looking to, I guess you could say, we're looking to get past a situation that is kind of kicking our butt, right? Swords are air energy, thought, communication, that kind of thing. And you're very aware of what's limiting you at this time. We were saying that you're not letting anything hold you back from the path you're going forward on, Scorpio. I feel like I called you a Virgo at some point. You're not letting anything hold you back on the path that you're looking forward to, and you're moving on. Like the individual in this card, he does have all the swords, and he's walking away from the burning village, salvaging what he knows is of worth and what he can. So if you have any limiting thoughts or beliefs, because we are talking about the intellect and communication, any negative self-talk, I feel like you're going to be addressing that in the month of July. And if it's not coming from you, you're going to be shutting down anybody who is offering those things to your path, because they're hindrances, not help. I mean, I really hate when you get somebody in your life or in your space that you're kind of forced to be around. It could be like the negative Nancy kind of vibe. It could be someone that you work with, so you can't really escape them. But you can always hear what it is they have to say, and they always give their opinions, and they're just never positive. Just like a person can go in and bring up the energy in a room and literally fill the room with light, and you're aglow and attracting people, there are also people who can bring us down. So I feel like if there's somebody in your environment who is doing that, who is being sort of a Debbie Downer, negative Nancy, that kind of thing, you're not going to be playing into it, okay? You're just going to let it go and let sleeping dogs lie and just move on with life. But if this is coming from you, my dear Scorpio, I feel like you're going to recognize it right away, and you're going to be addressing it throughout the month. To start off your reading, you have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is an individual who has to stand his ground and not just stand his ground, but fight back. So you can't see who's holding these other wands, but he is definitely not budging, okay? He's taking on all 6 of them. You do need to consider that in the 7 of Wands, while you may be in a bit of a defensive mode, defensive mode can't be your entire way of living. Wands are all about action. So we do need to consider what actions you're going to take in the month of July to go down that new path. And I feel like this is already a plan that you've been formulating, which is why this 5 of Swords is here. You know what's been holding you back and you're addressing it at this time. So what energy is crossing my blessed Scorpio? I've got so many flop around cards. And I am trying to get better at shuffling on camera so you guys can see. I do tend to hold the cards closer to my chest because I don't want to drop them. And I will be bringing the hands out so you can see I do shuffle while I channel, because I do channel while I read, so Spirit can bring me whatever whatever lessons, whatever guide wants to speak. I'm there to listen because I am clairaudient. So let's continue reading and see what energy is crossing you for the month of July. Crossing you, you have the 9 of Wands. Now the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Wands, consequently, and I thought of this card when this came up, are 2 cards that for some reason or another I tend to mix up in their explanation. And I know 7, there's 8 between them, and then 9. So the 7 of Wands is about not just standing their ground, but fighting back. Okay, so we're looking to make progress. Then 8 would be where we're sitting with all the wands we have around us. This is working towards a completion. Things are coming to fruition. And next you would have the 9. 9 is all about standing your ground because it is kind of like the wounded warrior. So you're considering where, yes, you fought for that which matters to you, but where are you not willing to give? Where are you not willing to budge? And I feel like this may be because a situation or a person will be challenging you, or you're going to find that a particular action that you're looking to take is a little more than you first thought it would be. Nothing that you can't handle, Scorpio. I'm not really getting that. I feel like it's more, there's going to be maybe more steps involved, or just like a little bit of hiccup in like the paperwork, but some action that you're looking to take at this time is going to have a little bit of a hiccup and just a little more extra work than you intended. But I feel like you're totally up to snuff for it, Scorpio. You're down for the challenge because, I mean, Scorpio's a fighter, right? You don't take anything lying down. So let's just continue this reading and see for July, what do you have at your base energy? You have the 9 of Pentacles. The woman in the 9 of Pentacles has this very lush garden with all of the pentacles that have grown around her. She has more than enough. Pentacles are about things that are very material, real time. So this could be your job, your home, your finances, etc. So I feel like you have more than enough at this time, and you're very aware of not just your own worth, but what you have to work with, monetary values. So this could be like an investment that you need to make in order to get whatever action you want up and going and off the ground, right? I'm hearing project. It might be that you're saving things back in order to help springboard that action. But there is more than enough available to you at this time, and you're quite aware, you're very secure, and you're very grounded moving into this next energy. And now you're ready to move from a space of just security and into something more, right? Because 8, 9, 10, we were talking about 7, 8, here's the 9, and then 10 would come after, is all about fruition, things coming about full circle for you. So let's see what energies are being lended to you at this time by Spirit. What is Spirit lending to you? Oh, I'm not going to take those because that's a lot of cards. Okay, I'm going to continue my shuffle. Okay. All right, what's coming into the energy here? What is Spirit lending? Okay, that's a flop out. We'll take it. More wands. So next you have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a man of action. He is the person who's going to kind of get some, you know, it's a very phallic kind of energy. So it might be that someone is attracted to you at this time and wants to get a little bit more physical in manner of relations, if you know what I mean. And if you feel like this is something you're ready to connect to, go for it. But if you feel like somebody wants you just for that and they're using you, I would steer away from it. But this is a very passionate individual, and I feel like this is more the energy that you're harnessing at this time. I'm not saying you're trying to go hook up with anybody, not at all. I'm really getting the vibe, Scorpio, that you're applying your passion to whatever you're doing. There's that word project in my brain again, passion, project. You're really applying yourself to not just your spiritual growth, but that which you want to make, what you want to create. because we were talking about a fiery, creative energy when we talk about those pentacles. So let's just see what's crowning us at this time. What is crowning my beautiful Scorpios in the month of July? Crowning my Scorpio. You have the King of Cups in reverse. So the King of Cups in reverse can indicate there might be a little bit of gossip, like we said, maybe a couple naysayers, or something emotionally spurred you into a place where you felt like you had to make this change because you weren't really feeling the support that you needed wherever you were. So this might be job related, which would explain those pentacles. Or you've lost your taste for something. You're not enjoying it very well anymore, because the King of Cups is a very compassionate king. He's very heartfelt, and he points toward things like camaraderie and friendship and things like that. But in reverse, this indicates that you're really not getting the support you need. There isn't that friendship or camaraderie, and you may be wanting to reach out and spend more time with friends because you're pouring so much of yourself into this passion project. I'm feeling like you're considering the path that you're on, and it's almost like you want to play a little bit, Scorpio. You want to kind of let your hair down and let loose, because like I said, you're all about the bare knuckle brawling, get down to the nitty gritty, but you're human too, living on this planet, having this experience, and there's no reason you shouldn't enjoy yourself as well. The immediate outcome of this reading is the Lovers. So I feel like you are going to be attracting someone who truly resonates with you, and this might be a romantic relationship, or it may just be a good friend. But the Lovers is also the choice card, the card of Gemini. So if you know a Gemini that seems to be reaching out and wanting to talk to you, I would recommend maybe going and spending some time with them and seeing what they have to say. You never know, they may lend something to the path and the project that you're currently working on. But the Lovers card is also known as the choice card. So be sure that you're making choices that really click with you. And I feel like you've done your homework. You've sat with this probably on and off. And I say on and off because it still matters to you, whatever it is you're working towards, Scorpio. You're very focused. You get that laser-like focus when something does matter to you. But I feel like you've been pulled away to help take care of other people's stuff intermittently, and then you always come back to whatever this is. So be sure that you're making choices that do truly resonate with you and do speak to your heart space, because that is how you're going to find almost like a springboard. I'm hearing springboard into this these next few steps of that new path. So what energy is my Scorpio sitting in and bringing to the reading? What do you have, Scorpio? You have the Page of Cups in reverse. Once again, more reversed cups. So yeah, you're a little let down. It's almost like you wanted more surprises. You wanted a little more joy on your path and your projects and everything. You just weren't getting it, right? So it's like, this isn't really clicking for me anymore. This is humdrum, monotony, okay? Because the Page of Cups is all about surprises, right? And cups are a heart space, water energy, etc. So there's something that really felt like it's letting you down. Somebody may have made promises to you that they really aren't delivering on, and you're like, oh, so we're just doing more of this. Okay, well, guess that gives me a clear picture of how I'm going to move forward, right? Because a door that gets shut in our face, my dear Scorpio, can be kind of a letdown. But if you think about it this way, it's like redirection. It helps you find which direction you should go, where you can grow, in spite of circumstances, okay? So let's go ahead and see what Spirit is lending to this reading. What does Spirit have to say to you, to my beautiful Scorpio? The Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is the card of rest. Be sure that while you're going forward with this, I'm hearing miraculous momentum. Thank you, Spirit. That's a very unique expression, but we'll go with it. The miraculous momentum that you're pulling off can really make great strides toward whatever it is you're working towards. As you consider your new path and what you want to create, where your passion truly lies. But don't forget to get good rest and just put the swords down. Don't get too stuck in your head, and don't, I'm hearing like pause. Don't give pause in places where you know that you can absolutely excel and exceed, because you've exhausted yourself, okay? Just sit, rest, and when you feel rested, then you'll have that much more energy to get up and go through whatever it is you're needing to create, and go ahead on your path without feeling any need for, breaks intermittently. So let's look what we have in position of hopes and fears for my Scorpio. Hopes and fears. Hopes and fears. Okay. Here you have the 10 of Pentacles, more Pentacles, okay? So we had the 9 here, and now we're looking with the 10. We're talking about 10 being the finishing out of a cycle. So I feel like you're very hopeful that you're going to get your money's worth, or others to see your worth, that what it is you want is going to be something that others find worth in. Because if you look at this card, it is, I like to call it a card of legacy. You have the elderly gentleman doing the magic for the wee babe, and then the younger couple, which I would imagine are the baby's parents. And in the back, they have this big, beautiful home and all the pentacles they could want, right? They're very well off. But dogs in the tarot are symbols of loyalty. So it's not just really about what he can do for entertaining a child. He's genuinely trying to teach the next generation what he knows and give them that divine spark, that interest, and maybe teach them a trick or two as they age. Because this is part of his legacy. This is how he's going to live on even past his time on this earthly realm. Even after we pass from our bodies, that which we have worked on, my dear Scorpio, does surpass us. A lot of famous artists and writers, for example, don't find any fame or fortune in their lifetime, and then they actually pass away, and then all of a sudden, voila, their art becomes famous. So, yeah, I feel like that's for someone very specific. You're very hopeful that you're going to leave a legacy behind you, but you're kind of fearful that what you're doing right now may not be doing that. And if there is a way that you can address that, Scorpio, you're encouraged to in the month of July. Go ahead and take these steps. I feel like this is a really big push forward that you've been looking for. So what is the overall energy of this reading? What is the long-term outcome if we stay on this path and this focus? Long-term for July for my Scorpio. Okay, Spirit says take it, so I'm going to take it. The 10 of Swords reversed. So 10 of Swords is the card of dead, done, over with, as indicated by the individual in this card who is lying on the ground with all of the swords in his back. But upside down, this is sort of letting the swords fall out, saying you're ready to get back up again. I feel like you're going to be kind of finding your footing, not really finding your sea legs, because whatever it is you're working toward this path, you're already well aware of all the cards on the table, no pun intended. You're already well aware of the situation at hand and what you're working with. And you know your worth, you know your passion, and now you're ready to stand up and sort of like rebirth, okay? You're ready to be reborn and start fresh and be born again. Something that's going to allow you to just create something amazing from what you felt may have been a loss at some time, because we were talking about you being a symbol of rebirth as we started this reading. So this is a wonderful reading for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm wishing you a very wonderful July. My name is Echo, and I'll see you next time.